maintain that. Okay, and that's at 3,749. The personal property audits, that's been the same for years at around 5,000. That's a pretty good thing to keep in there. One year we made about 80,000 additional taxes, and you're still getting that now. Every year we make tens of thousands of dollars typically on that. So that's a real good item to keep in there. Map updates, that's on, I don't know, 5, 6 pages in, that's 10,000. Let's see, quality software, 9708. That's also a couple of pages down. That's their estimate for next year. DMV files, that's so we can look you up and find your car and everything. That's $250. If you go to the next page, car allowance, that's, you know, maintenance of the motor, the car and all that stuff. I forgot where I got that number. I think it was from the finance department. Supplies, 1,000. That's been the same for all these years. Clothing allowance, that's per the union contract. Books and periodicals, that's how we come up with your car prices and everything. It's recommended from OPM that we use those pricing guides. So if you have the same car as somebody else, you get the same value. Equipment capital, office equipment, that's for, you know, maybe a chair or a desk, file cabinets, 2,000. I mean, right now my chair is falling apart, but, you know, so is the last one. So I think I can hold it for a few years, but who knows? That's where I got that 2,000 from. And that's it. It's pretty routine, my office. Any questions? Are you guys there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we're here.
Okay, great.
Did we, what did the bill, Joe, for final reval come to? For the one they just
Gee, I'm
finished?
home. Whatever they signed for the contract, that's what that's the number. What was that? 179,000. I'm going off the top of my head. I don't know who's there that has a copy of the reval contract. It's pretty much ended now.
Well, I think,
Hmm?
yeah, but Joe, if you can get together with Doug, and get a hold of the what the total cost of that contract was and let me know. And the reason why, if let's say it's 180,000, if it's 180,000 rounding it, well,
Yep.
if your estimate is 100 grand for 5 years down the road, because it's not a full-blown audit, it's let's say a walk by or a drive by. I don't get a lot of warm and fuzzy that they're going to drop down $80,000. I mean, that's a heck of a hit on $180,000 fee. Although I do recognize that there's a difference between a full-blown audit and just, let's call it the drive-by or the update.
Okay, sure.
So I'd like to find out what we paid. I'd like to find out what we paid, and I'd also like you to go to the reval company just to get an idea. Not that anybody's got that kind of crystal ball down the road, because if all things being the same, you know, if that 20 has to turn into 25, 28, or whatever that number might be, I'd like to get ahead of the game if we could plan a little more for it.
Yeah, actually, that 100,000, which is due in 5 years, I kind of got that from the reval company, but I'll double check with them to see if the prices have changed.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
that's fine. I mean, we can't, if we could predict 5 years, down the road, I think we'd all be picking lotto numbers and Powerball. So, you know, we don't have that luxury. But yeah, do whatever you can. Do the best at it to see what kind of information we can get.
Absolutely.
Any other questions for our assessor? Oh, hearing none. Thanks for coming, Joe.
All right. Thank you very much. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, next up is the Registrar of Voters, who has a great looking golden retriever who I don't think will be presenting any part of her budget tonight, but maybe, I don't know. But I will also, I'll just turn this over to Elise, and again, why don't we all go on mute so we can hear and not distract from her presentation. Take it away.
Okay, so we're asking for the same budget as last year. I don't know if you have any questions. I'm not sure what to present without questions. I can't hear you. I don't know if it's me.
Simply because I don't work I don't work technology that well. That was my fault. I didn't unmute myself. Are there any for your payroll, are there any contract adjustments that are anticipated? Usually the figure is 2.49%, but I see you haven't raised anything up under people's salaries.
We don't have, we're not part of a union.
Okay. Because I've also noticed that
are covered by different set of rules.
Okay, because what I'm looking at is the number hasn't changed for the registrar at least since 2017, 2018. Am I looking at a correct number?
Yeah,
think
that's correct.
Just see. Okay. I'm just scribbling some notes.
I believe the selectmen have to vote that in. And so they haven't
Okay.
done anything with it in a long time.
Yeah, I can see that. All right. Well, and then that ball's in Anne Marie's court with the Board of Selectmen. But absent that, I would guess then they also cover in election staffing. There will be an election, I guess, yeah, in 2021 that we're going to have to pay for. Now, Elise, given that the election in 2021, I would think, that's just confined to the town positions, or are there state
Yes.
positions or anything else involved?
It's a municipal election. I believe there will be a constitutional question or two on the ballot. Actually regarding
Okay.
election. Over here. A statewide.
Okay, some of your audio is breaking up, Elise. I don't know if you're not close enough to your computer or not, but no, I'm just looking at if we've budgeted 20 and it's not a national election, does that sway your budget at all in that it's just going to be a local election with one or two constitutional questions on it?
Not really in a significant way. We
Okay.
won't have this, well, with this last election, of course, with COVID, everything was different. We had high turnout, but then we also had more people voting absentee. So we will expect much lower turnout than in a presidential election, but it doesn't have that significant of an impact on our budget. We maybe have one less line of checkers at the polling place.
Okay. Any other questions for the registrar? Anything at all? Wow, this is an easy crowd tonight so far.
Good job, Elise.
Okay,
Thank you.
if if there are no other questions, as I said, we're going to be going through all of the budgets of all the departments, and if we have any other questions, we'll reach back to you. But thanks for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for welcoming Sawyer and for introducing your guys.
Oh, he can show up anytime, any
Oh,
meeting he
thank
wants to attend.
you.
Who's
I
going
will
to say
take
no?
you up on that.
Really? Okay.
Thank you,
Last
Elise.
but not
Thank
least,
you. Bye.
would be Jim Baldwin and the always popular, I guess, Jim, you're under town operations and building or part of, I just saw it here, office land use and code compliance, or both?
Office and building and, yeah, office building compliance.
Okay,
All right.
so that, for everybody, that's tab 14, and once again, we will mute ourselves and take it away.
All right. Well, good evening, everybody. I'm going to start off a little backwards. I'm going to just go to the bottom line, and we're actually looking at a decrease this year to the budget of approximately 4.5%. And for all of you that have been, involved in the growth of the department over the last 3 to 4 years, we're finding ourselves really getting comfortable where we should land. Some of that decrease is going to be found in staffing. There's 3 full-time employees and 2 part-time employees. So in the first line item, you have the salaries of the positions as far as the director and the administrators. We're down to 1 code official now from 2, and we combined all those positions together. That's working pretty well. We may see in the future a need for bringing on another part-time person for that, but I think this year we're not looking at that scenario yet. We have the line item for a per diem inspector, which we decreased this year, as we found that that really hasn't been utilized, but we need to keep it in there. That covers the times that either I'm not available for either vacation or sick time or anything that may arise, or if I need some specific expertise to come in on a certain project. We have the educational and our meeting and our seminars, which keep all our certifications up to date through the state of Connecticut. Professional association dues, which we must belong to create keep our ICC accreditation for the town. Our printing and binding for permits and stuff, just the documents that we use throughout the office. We use Aero printers down in Ansonia. We have our travel budget that has covers the mileage of both the zoning enforcement officer and myself, and also now I have a municipal car, so that's probably going to decrease a little bit, I would expect, through this year. Our board secretary fees, which handle the ZBA, planning and zoning, and inland wetlands, as well as the other conservation commission. And then we have our machinery and equipment and our computer services. And the only thing I just actually realized today, Tony Caserta came to me, and we do have that new plotter printer that we all utilize. Leanna uses it through the clerks. We use it for our digitized maps that come in, and communications that are given to us through emails. And also, I believe Joe, the assessor's office, can use it as well. And the ink's a little bit expensive for it. It's about $500 a year. We just discovered today that none of us had really put it in our budgets. Talked to Leanna today. I think we could absorb it in the building budget here under our machinery and computer equipment. So I think that might be, the only thing that really we didn't account for, but I think we'll be able to absorb it. So the revenue, just going back, the revenue stream is pretty good. A lot of permits going out, staying pretty steady. So we're making money for the town. And I think that's just about it. That's about what I have to report on this. Any questions?
One I'll throw at you, Jim. Not too much with a crystal ball, but do you have what you need to keep this department moving forward, or is there something a year, 2 years, or whatever down the road that, gee, I think we should look at getting this, or whatever it might be?
The only thing I could really see, well, there is one thing that's going to come about this year, 2021. So the state of Connecticut will adopt their new building codes. So every time they do that, a 3-year cycle, we have to basically buy all. We have to update all the manuals, books, codes, and our digital library as well. But we've got that planned for. In the next couple of years, I probably would see the need for more enforcement in probably the land use. And the state's still kicking around housing code. I really don't see that being adopted anytime soon, but if that were to come down, then we would probably definitely need another, at least a part-time housing code officer. But that's not here yet, so I would say we're doing pretty well. And then there's also, I'd probably like to bring to the attention, maybe your. I'm sorry, was I muted, Bill? Can you hear me now? Okay, so probably want to bring that we may be able to up our fee schedule. The real estate market is doing tremendous things right now. There's a lot of activity through not so much new building, but rehabilitation building. So we're still probably right now, we're starting to be on the lower end of permits. So we might be able to look at a slight increase, and that'll help generate some revenue in the town. So we can look at that. And I know we've talked about this in the past, and we haven't had an increase in the last 3 years.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was going to bring up. Would it be prudent to bump your fees, let's call it a little bit, whether it's $5 or $10 or whatever, in the context of the overall fee that you charge for whatever you do, rather than, it's been 3 years since anything was since the fees, I believe, were determined. If it's not an egregious bump, but may bring a few more dollars into the town, I wonder if it's worth slightly bumping up the fees for the new budget. Now, as I said, that you know your business, the permits, how much work there is, but a $5 or $10 fee, a $20, whatever it is per permit, is that realistic to do, rather than wait another year or whatever and then have a bigger bump?
I do believe it would be fine to do. I don't think there'd be any resistance. Last year, we brought all the fees of the land use up, and we realized that on a few projects. So We have had no pushback. We have not had anybody say your fees are too high or anything like that. I believe we could probably go up about $3 per $1,000 of value. Right now we're at $12.26 per thousand on a permit fee. I think we can go to $15 per thousand, and I don't think anybody would even mind that. Again, you're not, if you have a big project, if you have like, something in an industrial park, it may make a big difference. What some other towns have done is they break it down and they charge on the commercial side a much higher fee. I'm not really a big fan of that, but again, it's something to consider. So if we do decide to readjust the fees, we can make a fee schedule and bring it to the Board of Selectmen for their approval. And for, the next fiscal year, we could do that.
Yeah, I think if it's at all possible and the fees aren't egregious, especially with a 3-year gap in doing anything, everything's been stagnant. If that's a realistic aspect, I would think you'd want to talk to the selectmen about it, because again, we're not talking a lot per person, but collectively, given activity and all, the town may realize a few more dollars if things work out.
Yeah, it's something I could put together and, maybe bring to Anne Marie and, go over it with her and see if.
Yeah, why not?
If she thinks it's in line and what she might think of that.
Okay. Any other questions for the building boss, as it were, on anything? Wow, it's been quite an agreeable meeting. If there are no questions, Jim, we're gonna go through it like every other department. Take a look at it, and there's questions, we'll get back to you, but thanks for coming.
All right, thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
Thanks, Jim.
Well, in that happy regard, we've gone through all our departments. We've, I guess, asked however many questions we wanted to ask. But that being said, we're pretty much done for the evening. As I said, we're not getting together until a week from Wednesday, which will be March 3rd. Okay, so please change your calendars. We'll get a new Zoom invite. Monica's going to take care of the adjusting of the, a couple of the meetings. So on March 3rd, we will meet with Anne Marie and go over her numbers. That being said,
We still have a regular
go ahead,
meeting.
Rich.
We still got the regular meeting next.
Tomorrow, that hasn't, I'm sorry, that hasn't been changed or canceled. Tomorrow night, 7:00. Good catch, Rich. It was a test and you passed. But
Teacher's pet, teacher's pet.
we have a regular meeting. We have our, yeah. But then there's animal cruelty in some cases. But yeah, we do have our regular meeting tomorrow night. And as I said, we've got the agenda, we've gotten all the materials have gone out. Questions or comments, bring them with you. And we'll go from there. So, thanks for coming, everybody. See you all tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.